Chapter 4. Storing your things to make your life shine. So this chapter is all about, well, as you might expect, storage. And her basic thesis here is that proper storage is all about routine. Everything should have a designated place in the home somewhere. And when you come home, the first thing you do is to put everything in its place. I mean, she describes in a fair amount of detail in the first few pages, her personal routine of, she comes home, puts her shoes in a specific spot by the door, takes yesterday's shoes, puts them away in a shoe rack, disembowels her purse and all the items into their proper place, and the purse is empty to be used to load it up the next day with whatever is required. So, and she goes into a fair amount of metaphysical discussion about why this is important, showing items their proper respect, thanking them actually verbally for a hard day's work, doing whatever purpose that thing serves. Well, I'm not sure I buy into the metaphysical aspects of this. I think there is something to be said for the idea of respecting your possessions. And just, if you throw your crap on the floor all the time, it's not going to last as long. It's not going to serve its purpose nearly as well as if you actually took care of it. So while there's a bit of weird metaphysical mumbo jumbo wrapped around this, there's something to it. She also relates a tale of her old cell phone, which I'm not sure from a technical perspective how this could possibly work, but her story is that she, after many years of service, she got a new cell phone, and she had her own cell phone, her old cell phone with her, and she sent her old cell phone a text saying, "Thank you so much for your service." And not long after, her old cell phone just died and quit working completely, as if it had sort of given up its spiritual ghost, if you will, after realizing its many years of service were over. Again, metaphysical mumbo jumbo, but yeah. Okay, so she goes on to tell us to discard first and store things later. You can't possibly store all the things you're storing neatly. Generally, homes have plenty of storage already. You don't need more storage. What you need is less stuff. Each person should have their own designated storage area if you live in a home with multiple people, to foster a sense of ownership and sort of a cycle of tidying. She also admonishes that you should decorate your storage spot to represent you personally, so that you have that sense of, this space is me. I'm going to keep this neat and tidy, and that's sort of a circular thing that this represents me. I feel good in this place, so I'm going to keep it tidy. And so it's sort of as I say, a cyclical thing. She admonishes against efficiency planning. A lot of storage advice centers around the idea that you should keep things in a spot that makes them most efficient to acquire. Her argument is quite the contrary, that most of the time spent is in putting stuff back, not in getting stuff out. So if you make it simple to put stuff back, then you not only reduce clutter, but you also make things simple and you can easily see what it is you have all in one spot. Even no matter how organized your storage methodology may be, if things are spread out around 20 different spots in the house, there's still going to be some doubt. You're never going to memorize everything. So if it's all in one spot, then you never have invisible to you. Then you never have any doubt about where things are. She also argues one example she gave against trying to overthink this is the typical drawer. Efficiency will tell you, to plan out which things you use most often and put them where they're most easily accessible. She argues that this planning is irrelevant because the drawer will do that naturally over time. As you use things and put them back, the drawer will naturally sort itself in the most convenient way. So there's no need to pre-plan that. Just designate the drawer as the storage spot and let nature take its course. She admonishes against fancy storage devices, all the things you see at any of the big box retailers that want to sell you the latest fancy gewgaw. She says, a simple box or a bin is all you really need. She goes on for quite some time about the optimum storage device of a simple shoebox. The bottom is a box that is deep enough to act as a divider for drawers, and the top is a tray that you can use for any number of things to keep shelves organized. So failing all else, find a shoebox. See, handbags and other bags of the sort that she argues should be stored within themselves. She goes into some amount of length about her previous attempts to use bags as storage for seasonal items and the like, but eventually came to the idea that just having a bag in a bag was the best thing that you could really do. Closets, she argues, should be the holders of everything that would otherwise be on the floor. So everything from golf clubs to clothes goes in the closet. She briefly touches on her closet organizing, basically saying that the off-season and large things should be up above. Seasonal appliances and electronics should be below, and then everything in the middle should, clothes and often used things, in clear containers that are easily seen, vertically stacked, so that you can see everything that you own in as easily as possible. On the topic of shower and bath, she says that you should never use your tub or shower to store anything. Those shampoo bottles and other accoutrements that you're keeping on the ledge of your shower are just getting slimy and nasty, and so you should really get that crap off of there, because it's just going to do nothing but become stinky. In the kitchen, cloths and sponges should be thoroughly dried. Everything should be off the counters, because otherwise it's just going to get oil or soap on it. She goes on in various points about the tidying as a sacred act. So she indicates that the tops of bookshelves are the optimum space for a sacred object. She goes on at length about various trinkets and religious items, but essentially the top of the bookshelf is reserved for items that have special, deep significance. So I assume this would also include mementos and things of that nature that you want to see and you want to sort of revere. Lastly, she has a bit about clothing. People tend to buy clothes and then leave the tags on, and she argues that you don't really own something until you've taken the tags off. Despite arguments to the contrary, that you should leave the tags on in case you have to take it back, or if you find the need years down the line to resell it, it'll be worth more if it has the tags on. She argues that the best place to store items, to store clothing that you're not 100% sure that you want it, is at the store. Stuff that if you're not excited enough about it when you bought it to be sure that you're going to immediately buy it to wear it at first opportunity, you should never buy it in the first place. So she rightly argues that bring your stuff in, immediately organize it, don't buy things that you don't absolutely need at the time, and that'll help you avoid clothing related clutter. So at any rate, that's really the end of my summary for chapter 4. I believe chapter 5 is the last, so we will close that out and sum up shortly. And at any rate, happy reading.